Welcome back. This is just another great day showing you the joys of real whole food. So I just wanted to touch on quite briefly, we cover this quite a lot in the workshops, the healing with food workshops, the culturing food workshops, and it's a really big topic and it's one that I just find so important, simply because, number one, as a parent and as somebody that works a lot with people, what we're seeing out there, especially in our young children and our elderly, is a huge process where there's a lot of anxiety and a lot of depression. Now, the bacteria that we've been talking about today, there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of types of bacteria, but we work a lot when we're culturing our food with a bacteria called a lactobacillus bacteria. So you've often probably heard of a lactoferment or lactic acid, and that's quite different. The lactic acid is not the lactic acid left in the muscle after a workout, but a little secret for this, what we were talking about before is post-workout, pre-workout. This is the electrolyte, the whey, the lactobacillus process of making your cheese. We're left with the whey. This is fantastic for combating that post-workout muscle tightness. So this is, again, we're coming back to every little thing that us humans experience that we kind of think is normal, that we kind of think, we get old, we end up with Alzheimer's, we get old, we end up with diabetes, we have depression, we have children as young as 4 or 5 years old that are being put onto antidepressants. Why is this happening? Well, look at our food. It is as simple as that. Look at our pollutants in the air, the pollutants that we have in our house. These are really powerful pollutants, Now, if we take all that and we start to change just our food, that is just one massive, powerful move that we could make. So, something as simple as fermenting a dairy product, fermenting your little humble cabbage from your garden. We're working with the lactobacillus bacteria, and together with bifidum bacteria, which you often see in certain yogurts in the supermarkets, health shops. These two bacteria are really important because they talk to our brain. So this is where the gut-brain axis comes in. So what's happening in the gut is starting to send little signals up to the brain. And this is why we're starting to hear so much more about your second brain is the gut. And so these little neurotransmitters start to be produced and they start to send little messages up to the brain. So whether it's a good message or whether it's a bad message, we can actually determine what message is going to be sent from the gut up into the brain. So hence, good messages are going to be sent up to the brain using all this, probably denatured food, something like a denatured whey powder, processed food, food loaded with sugar, over pasteurized milks, liquids, fruits in cans. All these go through a pasteurization process. They are certainly not whole food coming out of a packet. They have been so denatured. The body has no way of dealing with it. There's no talk happening from the gut to the brain. So how can we have these really wonderful messages being sent up to the brain to put us in a good mood, to change children's behavior, to stop the onset of diabetes, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's disease? These are all diseases that have come about through our modern day practice of nutrition, which has really fallen short of what nature is out there and what nature is capable of giving us. Our bodies are perfect. Nature is perfect. So do we utilize it? Do we use it to its fullest? Or do we deplete our soils through incorrect farming methods? Do we deplete our bodies and our health and our mental state through food that is so devoid of nutrients? So we do have a choice, and it is incredibly powerful. So just to give you an idea, these 4 bottles of products sitting here, there's a vitamin D, there's a vitamin E, there's a bottle of minerals that travels across the ocean because it's obtained in Austria. And we have enzymes. Now, this probably is worth about $300 per, and that might last one person 2 weeks. So put a whole family on this and you're spending thousands and thousands and thousands. Now, every single thing in these bottles is obtainable in our food in huge amounts, absolutely huge amounts. Vitamin D, well, here we go. We've got grass-fed cows produce this butter that, as you can see, is so rich in vitamin E, vitamin D, vitamin K. These are fat-soluble nutrients that we need for brain health, eye health, bone health, digestive health, reproductive health, sperm health, woman's procreation. All this is just, it's powerful. It's all here. We don't need it in bottles. This is all still pretty much synthetic. As much as these nutrients are produced by incredible companies, it's still pretty much synthetic. So why are we using this and spending thousands when we can take our health back to pretty much all the sitting on the table in front of you today, and everything you will learn in the workshops will take away the need for all these bottled products. Slowly but surely your health comes back, your digestion comes back, your assimilation of nutrients comes back, and you kind of go through this awakening to, how am I treating that other person? How am I treating that plant? How am I treating that animal? How are our farmers treating those animals? So these, people come into the workshops and they come in going, I just want to get better. I want to sleep. I want to feel good again. I want to be happy. I want my kids to stop having tantrums. And that's how they come into the workshops. But the bigger picture is they leave the workshops, and as they start to create all this, they then start to ask the bigger questions of, where is my food coming from? Has it traveled for thousands of kilometers? What are the costs of that cabbage? What are the costs of that product traveling across the oceans? What is the cost to our environment? And we start to get this bigger picture of how, we are humans, but we are so much a part of this whole microorganism that is Earth. That really is all that Earth is. It's this microorganism of living things, breaking down, living, dying, feeding the Earth. And they start to get this picture of, oh my gosh, it's not just about me and my eczema. It's about everything else around us, the people I live with, the animals that I eat, the farmers out there that are the backbone of our society. Take the farmers away and we don't even have a cabbage. Take the bees away and none of this food in this bowl that you've seen today will be there. We won't have tomatoes, we won't have the most favorite fruit that you have, we won't have pawpaws, mangoes, name it. So as we start to delve into just simply affecting ourselves and changing how we are, and changing our moods, changing our concept of where we fit into this ecosystem, and because we are such a social species, this is what brings us together around a table. This is what creates communication, connection to our farmers, connection to our earth. So it becomes an incredibly big topic. It's not just one little bottle of fermenting milk. It becomes so much more than that.